Hello everyone and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. Today we will explore the last lesson, a tale of language and loss. We'll dive into a story that highlights the significance of language and what it means to lose it. Over the next few slides, we'll discuss the story's background, its themes, and why it remains so relevant today. Let's get started. Today, we focus on the silent protest of the villagers, a powerful act of resistance that speaks volumes without words. We then move to a day that feels unlike any other, France's unexpected morning, which marks a turning point in his story and highlights the personal struggles faced during turbulent times. Next, we come to M. Hamel's emotional farewell, a poignant moment that underscores the deep connection between language, identity, and culture. We also examine the key characters, whose voices embody themes of loss and reflection, reminding us of the human cost behind historical events. The phrase, "Vive la France," echoes as a lingering reminder of patriotism and resilience, even amidst adversity. We see France's transformation unfold from regret to rediscovery, illustrating how conflict can lead to personal growth. The Berlin Decree introduces a cultural mandate that influences the characters' lives and choices, emphasizing the broader political context. Then, we witness M. Hamel's somber announcement as he unveils a critical message that impacts everyone involved. Finally, we set the scene during a time of conflict, where tensions are high and the stakes have never been greater. All of these points tie together to deepen our understanding of this complex and emotional chapter in history. Today, we're looking at a pivotal moment in history during the 1870s, a time when Europe was deeply divided and in conflict. The key event we're focusing on is the Franco-Prussian War, which was a major clash between France and Prussia. This war didn't just involve these two nations. It had a profound impact on the entire European political landscape, leading to significant changes in power dynamics and national boundaries. So, when we talk about this period, it's essential to understand that it was a time of intense conflict, marked by strategic battles and shifting alliances. The war was a catalyst for the unification of Germany under Prussian leadership and also reshaped France's position in Europe. As we explore this chapter, keep in mind how these events set the stage for future conflicts and the modern geopolitical map we're familiar with today. This war is a perfect example of how conflict can accelerate political change and influence the course of history. Imagine a small, charming village school nestled in Alsace, a region in France known for its unique cultural blend. Recently, this area has come under Prussian rule, and that change is more than just political. It deeply affects the local culture and daily life. This setting is really key to understanding the tensions we're exploring today. When you think about this village school, think about how the community's identity is being challenged and reshaped by these new influences. It's a perfect example of how geography and history intertwine to create a complex cultural landscape. This context helps us grasp the broader themes of cultural resilience and adaptation that are central to our discussion. This decree from the Prussian capital really sends shockwaves through the French-speaking communities of Alsace and Lorraine. It's important to understand that this is more than just a simple change in the curriculum. It's actually a direct attack on their cultural identity. These communities have a rich linguistic and cultural heritage, and this decree essentially forces a new linguistic reality upon them. What this order from Berlin states is very clear. From tomorrow, only German will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. This isn't just about education. It's about shaping the very identity of these regions. It's a cultural mandate, a way to impose German language and culture, and to diminish the influence of French traditions. This move fits into the larger context of the German Empire's efforts to consolidate control over these territories, and it underscores how language is so deeply tied to identity. It's a bold and somewhat aggressive step that clearly aims to reshape the cultural landscape of Alsace and Lorraine. On this slide, we see that prominent villagers, including Old Hauser and the postmaster, are attending the final lesson. Their presence is significant because it symbolizes a collective regret for neglecting their language over the years. It's also a silent protest against the Prussian order that has enforced the language policies. Their attendance highlights how deeply the community feels about losing their cultural identity. Moving on, the slide describes M. Hamel, the dedicated French teacher who has taught for 40 years. His dignity and deep sorrow as he faces dismissal show his unwavering passion for his language and his nation. His last lesson is more than just about grammar. It's a heartfelt testament to the importance of language as a cultural and national treasure. Next, we have France, who initially was a carefree student. He often got distracted and found French lessons tedious. But as the story progresses, France's journey becomes one of profound realization. He begins to understand the true significance of his language and the loss that comes with its neglect. Lastly, this slide highlights the key characters as voices of loss and reflection. Their stories and reactions remind us of the emotional and cultural impact of losing one's language, which ties back to the overall theme of the presentation, how language is a vital part of identity and heritage. The quiet school, often bustling with the sounds of lessons and children, immediately signals to France that something is amiss. Usually, there's a lively atmosphere, but today, there's an unusual stillness. France, worried about getting into trouble for being late and unprepared for his participle lesson, hurries to school. He expects the usual noise and commotion, but instead, he encounters an eerie silence that feels almost solemn. This sets a very different tone for the day, making France realize that this will be a day like no other. It's a reminder that sometimes, even the most familiar places can surprise us, especially when things are not quite as they seem. My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. These words, spoken by M. Hamel, carry a weight that immediately captures our attention. You see, in that moment, France's initial feelings of nervousness or apprehension start to shift. He begins to realize that something serious is about to happen, something final. This is a crucial turning point in the story because it highlights the gravity of the situation. M. Hamel's announcement isn't just about a lesson. It's about the end of an era, the loss of language and culture that the children have been learning. It's a somber moment that reminds us how powerful words can be, how they can evoke feelings of sadness, nostalgia, and reflection. As we connect this to the overall theme, it emphasizes the importance of education, heritage, and the impact of political decisions on personal lives. This scene underscores how moments of change can be both shocking and meaningful. Today, I want to highlight a significant moment that really marked a turning point. The teacher announced that, starting the very next day, only German would be taught in schools. This decision wasn't just about language. It symbolized a broader shift in policy and identity. It effectively marked the end of French language instruction in the annexed regions, bringing a sudden and definitive end to a long-standing cultural tradition. This moment is often referred to as the end of an era, and it underscores how language policies can serve as powerful tools for shaping national identity and control. As we consider the overall theme of this presentation, it's important to see how these changes reflect the larger political and social upheavals of the time. In this slide, I want to highlight how France's inner turmoil is really a reflection of a larger issue, the cultural dispossession that the community as a whole is experiencing. This realization for France goes beyond just failing academically. It's about understanding the deep cultural loss that his community is enduring. When we talk about this profound loss, it's important to see how France begins to grasp the true value of his mother tongue, only when he's about to lose it. It's a bit ironic, isn't it? He only appreciates the importance of his language when it's slipping away from him. The lessons he once considered tedious or unimportant now seem priceless. This shift brings a wave of regret. France suddenly feels a deep sense of shame for his past indifference towards his French lessons. He realizes he's wasted valuable opportunities that could have connected him more deeply to his culture and identity. So, in this transformation, we see how regret can lead to rediscovery. France's laziness turns into shame, but ultimately, it becomes a catalyst for him to value and reconnect with his cultural roots. This journey is central to understanding how personal growth often stems from recognizing what's been lost and what can still be reclaimed. As you can see, M. Hamel wears his fine green coat, a frilled shirt, and an embroidered cap, which he usually reserves for inspection days. This special attire really highlights the solemnity and importance of the occasion. It's a visual reminder of how much respect and seriousness he brings to this moment. His clothing isn't just about appearance, it's about honoring the language and tradition he's dedicated his life to teach. This attire also underscores the emotional weight of his farewell, making it clear that this isn't just any ordinary day. It's a day of reverence, reflection, and deep respect for the language and the lessons he's imparted. This connects to our overall theme of honoring tradition and the significance of cultural identity through education. Today, I want to share a moment of reflection as I deliver my final lesson. I acknowledge that, at times, I may have dismissed students too early, perhaps missing opportunities to engage more deeply. It's important to recognize that everyone, including educators, makes mistakes. But I also want to gently address a common challenge I've observed. Parents often prioritize work over education, sometimes at the expense of their children's learning. This shared responsibility means that both teachers and parents have roles to play in supporting students' growth. By being aware of these dynamics, we can work together more effectively to create a nurturing environment where students feel truly valued and supported. This is a key part of the broader theme we've been exploring, how collaboration and understanding are essential for meaningful education. Today, I want to share with you how he passionately describes French as the most beautiful, clearest, and most logical language. He believes that French isn't just a means of communication, but a vital part of their identity and freedom. He urges his students and the villagers to protect and cherish it, seeing it as a key to their independence and cultural heritage. By emphasizing its beauty and clarity, he wants everyone to understand how powerful and meaningful their language truly is. And by doing so, he's inspiring them to see their language as a symbol of their strength and unity. This idea ties into the broader theme of our presentation, the importance of language in shaping identity and resistance. So, protecting French becomes more than just speaking a language. It becomes a way to preserve their very freedom. The presence of the villagers in the back of the classroom, Old Hauser, the former mayor, the postmaster, and others, is a very powerful symbol. They've come here not just to witness what's happening, but to pay homage and show their deep regret. They regret not having learned or preserved their native language when they had the chance. Their silent attendance, standing quietly in the back, speaks volumes. It's a collective expression of sorrow, but also of defiance. They are silently protesting, making a statement without words. This act highlights how important language is to identity and culture. It reminds us that even in silence, there's a powerful message, one of regret, resilience, and the importance of remembering our roots. This scene ties into the overall theme of the presentation, the significance of language as a vital part of our cultural heritage. As we reach the conclusion of this story, it leaves us with a deep sense of loss. It reminds us that language is far more than just a tool for communication. It's a fundamental part of our identity, our freedom, and our national spirit. The midday bell, ringing out alongside the Prussian bugles, signals not just the end of the lesson, but, symbolically, the end of an era. It's a poignant moment filled with sadness, as it represents the loss of a community's linguistic and cultural identity. When M. Hamel writes, "Vive la France," as large as he can on the blackboard, it's a powerful act of silent patriotism and defiance. Despite the oppressive circumstances, this act shows the resilience of their spirit and their love for their country. And as the bell tolls, those final words, "Vive la France," echo long after, symbolizing the enduring spirit of a people who refuse to forget their roots. This scene encapsulates the profound importance of language, not just as a way to speak, but as a vital part of who we are. It's a reminder that even in the face of loss, our identity and pride can endure through the words we cherish and pass on.